Go.
Hiya, it's Thursday. I am so looking forward to the weekend. I've got friends coming from Birmingham, so that'll be nice. I was hoping that we were going to sit outside in the sunshine, but it looks like it's going to be raining and thunderstorms on Saturday. So hopefully, it says 90% chance of rain on my app, so hopefully that's 90% chance of rain in the morning when I'm working on the Saturday, so that it's nice again then for the evening. You can always hope. I haven't got a deal of the day. I didn't think about it until I was walking out, and then I forgot. Okay, which is par for the course. And Sarah's over there buying new fabric, so that will take that. Buying you all new stuff took precedence over finding out what I was going to do. But the charm packs is still on special. I've completely updated the website, so hopefully that, because a couple of people, they all must have ordered at the same time, and we didn't have a few of them. So that will all be finished by the time I get back to the shop. That's where I'm trying to think in my head. Right, today we were going to go to the races. Now, whenever we talk about jelly rolls and people go, oh, I don't know what to do with the jelly roll, we talk about doing a jelly roll race, and people often can't get their head round how to do it. So I just thought we would do a table mat sized jelly roll race, or one that you could get that out rather than doing a whole quilt, because believe me, that first long sew takes forever. So I thought I'd show you. Okay, so I brought along my box of 2.5-inch strips. Now, I'm awful for cutting too much binding, so I don't worry about it anymore, because if I have too much binding, I like here, I had too much of all one colour, so all I've done is I've just shot it in the box. Okay, so we're just going to use my scraps, my 2.5-inch scraps. Who am I talking to, Al?
So here we got hellos from Grace, Sonia, Carol, Jenny, Jean, Linda, Carolyn.
I hope you're staying safe in this weather and drinking lots of water. Hello to all of those new ones that might have followed us over here from Sarahjane. It's nice to see you too. So I'm just going to choose a couple of the strips. Alright, I found one that I obviously did scrappy binding, so it's already sewn together. The idea of a jelly roll race is that it becomes a cascade, really, of if you're using a whole jelly roll, so it would all go together. See, there's bits from a jelly roll that I was using. This is the print one. It had like American recipes or something on it, I think. So these are just the coordinating fabrics from there, but you would get a cascade if you use the jelly roll as it's laid out for you. It would just cascade down. When you're doing it from a jelly roll, oh no, we'll go on to that afterwards. So I have all my scraps. So you have a 2.5-inch strip. That's not 2.5 inches, is it? Get rid of that one. 2.5-inch strips, and you're just going to sew them together on the short ends. Okay, so you put them right sides together. Let's put that out of the way. Over there, we're going over to the machine now. Shout out if anybody says anything that I can cotton on to for conversation. So we're shut next week from Wednesday because we've got Festival of Quilts. So far we still think it's going ahead, so we will see some of you there. Right, I've got 1/4 inch foot on. It's easier with the 1/4 inch foot because you haven't got to keep too much of an eye on it, and it's quick sewing. All right, so you're going to chain piece. You're going to chain piece a couple, and then you'll be able to sew them together, and then you'll have a long end that you can add to. When you're sewing long strips together, you could just take the end of that strip, put it right sides together with the next one, and sew that through. But we're just going to chain piece a few of them. So Saturday, we're still open on Saturdays. If you wanted to come in and see us, we're open 10 till 1. I think it'd be me and Jackie this week. So we'll be doing fat quarters ready for festival. So much cutting involved. So we're waiting for, we've just ordered some of the blenders so that we can take it with us. So where's the date this week? It's 25th this weekend, isn't it? 25th? 22nd today.
23rd, 24th, 25th.
Okay, so yeah, we're doing the weekend, and then we're going to festival on the Wednesday. I'm back on the Sunday, ready to open on the Monday, and Sarah is on her Chanda next week. She's doing the week after, so she's doing 3rd and 4th on her Chanda. 3rd is one of our shows, and the 4th she's being a guest presenter for another show. I think they're called Rico. They do fabrics, but I think they do a what's it called? An embroidery kit. So all you ones that are out there that we never do embroidery kits, maybe have a look at that. So I'm just taking from my stash, just picking up various bits and sewing them together. This is a really simple, nice, mindless sewing. Now I've got friends who sort their scrap fabric out, and they have boxes of 2.5-inch strips, and they have boxes of 2.5-inch squares and 5-inch squares, and you know, so when they finish doing fabric, they have a look at it and say, right, well, that's an odd shape, but I can get a 5-inch square out of that. It's always worth doing. None of those are. This one here, this fabric, I love doing this. This fabric, my mother did a Bargello with, this was one of the fabrics from the Bargello, and I think my son's got that one. So, any questions or anything going on there?
Not in terms of questions, but the main topic is the weather and where people are.
Has anybody already got rain, or are they all still sunny?
Karen said, hello, all from a freezing Georgia, South Africa.
Oh yes, yes, of course. You're the southern continent. No, southern hemisphere. That's what I wanted to say. So it would be winter there. My sister's in South Island in New Zealand, and I'm looking at pictures from them, and it's all snowy. So it's yeah. I still find that crazy that she's in the middle of her night and it's freezing there, and we're in the middle of the day and it's hot. Brain. Right, so I've taken all my bits that I've sewn together, and I'm just going to sew them together. Really, this is a conversational piece. This is not a complete demonstration piece. It's really easy. I love jelly roll quilts because they just flow. Any other things going on?
Not really. Other than just people talking about weather.
Chat away. I'm now, these pieces are now long enough that I can bring that piece, the end piece, round and add the other one to it, which means I'm doing it all in one go now. I just chop the threads between them. Just chop the threads between them and they will be one long string. Because I was clever like that. Okay. So we're just putting all these together and then I'll sew the end to the piece that I've already got. And then we'll go do the long sewing. So, anyone got plans for the summer? I had a barbecue last night. We decided that since it's going to rain, we would have a barbecue. So I had the family round, all except my son. But my girls were there, and I've got a picture of Elsie, who's the littlest one, with her face covered in strawberries. She's a complete fruit nut. She loves her fruit, and she was getting the strawberries in as fast as possible. And of course, they were ending up all on her face like that. Erin's too much of a lady for that. I think I missed that one. Hang on. Oh yeah, completely missed that. I'm going to just chop that off there and redo it, I think. I missed one end, and that's a very light fabric. It's probably not the best thing. What we're going to do is we're going to put it together as a table mat, because that's like a little mini quilt, isn't it? So, I'll do that one. Any other subjects there that I can get my teeth into, Al?
Eileen says, I love... Oh, message called up. I love jelly roll quilts too. I have introduced new machine sewers to the technique.
Well, yes. We had a lady in mentioning no names, Kath. She was in yesterday and she's been counting up her jelly rolls. I think it was 18 at the last count. My mother has 5 of them. And the only thing I can say to all of that is don't count them. And that way you've only got the one you're looking at. So I'm just chopping all these strings, and you can see now that I have one long length, which is very clever of me. So I'm going to chop that off. Remember the mats that we made to go with the Alison glass round panel things? Well, I put those out yesterday on our table. All right, that's the thing. This is the one. Yeah, I'm going just one more, and then I'm back with you, and I'll show you what we need to do next.
Taryn says, do you have any of the Malibu Boutiques jelly rolls left?
Ooh. I'm not sure. I think so. Sarah will be busy with Ashley, so let me have a look when we get back. No,
she says we do.
We do. There you go, Taryn. We do. I don't know if they're on the website. If they're not on the website, give us a ring, and we'll stick one in the post. Okay, right. So I've taken the other one that I had. I've taken that and. There we go. So I now have a really long piece. So with a normal jelly roll, you would just keep sewing until the whole jelly roll is like this, in one long string. Then what you're going to do, if you have a full jelly roll, you want to cut off from your first strip, you want to cut off a piece. Doesn't matter where, just cut a piece off. Okay, you can put that into your scraps then for the next one. So your first piece then is going to be a slightly different length to all the others, because if you left them all the same length, they would always, you would always have them joined in a line, especially in the first sew through. So you want to make it so that they're a little bit offset. Now you could, if you wanted to, instead of sewing them together straight like that, you could sew them, got to think a bit more about that, you could sew them at the angle. Remember the angle, if you've got a pen, no, it's a blue pen, if you've got a pen and a ruler, you would then mark them, the selvage there, you would mark them going down from, oh, there's my corner, from top left to bottom right. Always top left to bottom right, so that when you sew that in, so you've sewn that in there, okay, when you flip it out, it becomes one long strip, but you would have a different finish. There are some out there that put in a square of white in there, so that you get the pattern then of your white would go down. Does that make sense? Right, so you've got your jelly roll strip. You can imagine you've sewn 42 strips together, okay? 44 if you buy the EQS one. 44 strips. They've got to go one better. I cannot find either end of these. What have I done? Have I sewn them all? I've sewn them in a... I've sewn them in a circle.
That would help.
Ow! You didn't tell me I'd sewn them in a circle. Okay, where's our long one? We're going to chop that there. No wonder I couldn't find the end. Right, we're going to now put the two ends together. How did I manage that? Okay, so he's there shrugging his shoulders. I don't know, dear. Right, so now you just sew all the way down the long end, and it doesn't matter where you cut it or how you put it, you will always get two together at some point that are exactly the same. So we're now just going to go down here. Now it's a long sew, so somebody talk to me. Alex, is there anything there that we can have a go at?
Let me just scroll past all the is watching messages.
So, going along here.
Jean says, I was teaching a class to sew some scrappy mug mats yesterday and they loved it.
Ah, cool. Yes, crumb quilting is for mug mats is really good. However, you've got to be careful that you don't have too many lumps and bumps for a mug mat, isn't it? So you're just putting the two sides together. Keep an eye on your seams. If you've used a jelly roll, you'll have less seams. Just putting this together. I've probably got too much material here now for one mat. So I think a jelly roll is 2.5 meters of fabric, I think. Was it? Yeah. Jelly roll, if you do a jelly roll race like this with one jelly roll, you get a quilt big enough to sit on top of a single bed. Okay, so you could then put borders around it. Jelly roll is very versatile. can do Bargello with a jelly roll. Some jelly rolls, the Fiesta one, the orange one we took on Hachanda, that only had 40 strips in it, and it was only 10 colourways, and it was repeated 4 times, which was ideal for a Bargello. I don't know about you lot, I'm boiling. Right, that one I got. Alex has sat there in a long sleeve t-shirt. Any other things there?
Jean says we did the quilt as you go, so it wasn't too bumpy.
Ah, that's cool. Yes, we can. I thought about doing it like quilt as you go on this, but I think once you've put it together and you've decided on your shape, because of course once it's together it becomes a sheet of fabric. So there's no reason why you have to cut it on the straight. We're going to have a look at. I'm going to use one of Sarah's big rulers, and we'll have a look at it. I'm almost to the end. Bear with me, girls, bear with me. Oh. So anything else there?
Suzanne says I got my Moonlight Sonatas quilt today.
Ah, brilliant. There's still a few of those we put on the website, because when we cut the bolt we had a few more on the ends than we'd anticipated from cutting the other bolt. Right, you'll see at the end, oh no, I've done it right. Sometimes when you put them together you might get it twisted at the end. This is just basically what happens, okay, is you just keep sewing. It's a good one for keeping sewing. So once you've got to the end, you're going to chop the end off, alright? And then what you're going to do is open it up and go back to the other end, like this. So you just put it together like that, end to end, and we're going to sew all the way down there again. So it's not very technical, but this is how you do a jelly race. We like to do them, I think when we do the quilt retreats, we might do a race. So if you've got a jelly roll, bring it. Or we might do or a charm pack. Bring a charm pack, laid egg and a jelly roll. We could split you into teams and see how quickly you could make a quilt out of a pre-cut. Quite looking forward to the retreat, and when it's this hot here, it's amazing to think that when it happens it's in November, so it's going to be cold. We could have a nice, I think it's out in the countryside, we could have nice crisp walks with all the leaves and there's cake. Who cares about the leaves and the walk? There's cake. So, any of you going on holiday in this country? I know Jean's been on her holiday because she came to see us. We've got, Sarah's going away. I think I'm doing a staycation. We've had a few ideas and then poo-pooed them. So I think we're probably hoping for good weather for our week off, Dave and I. And we're going to sit in the garden and read books on our new garden furniture, which I can't use this weekend when I've got visitors because of the rain. So do you have any questions? I mean, it doesn't have to be about this, it can be any question at all, just to keep me talking. I think probably I've put too many strips on this.
Linda says, will you have jelly rolls and jam packs available to buy at the retreat?
Of course. Of course. We shall be taking a pop-up shop, so I'll make sure that we take them. I think the shop's going to have to be closed because all of our shop helpers, apart from poor old Beth, are going to be at the retreat because they booked into it. So I've sewn all the way to the end and I've cut it in half again. Now you can see that it gets shorter each time, so it becomes a quicker sew. So we're going to just sew this. Now you could be fussy about which way round your seams are going, but it's supposed to be a racy type thing. Okay, so we had my daughter and they brought the dog yesterday. He's a little French bulldog. Looks like Chairman Mao. He's suffering. He suffers terribly with the heat. He was all sort of flaky yesterday. We were sat under the umbrella and he kept going in and lying on the kitchen floor because we've got like a tiling effect thing, so that's the coldest floor we've got. But he gets, have you ever known a dog to get hay fever and hives from the sun? I mean, he has really suffered. You think? There we go, we're nearly there. Any questions there, Al?
There's a whole lot of is watching.
A whole lot of busy watching?
Yeah,
oh, yes. I don't know why it does that. Right, I think we could probably get away with this now for the thing, because we're only doing a mat. So you can choose then, I mean, you could sew it again, but you would get this sort of shape with a jelly roll race, okay, but with it going that way. For your quilt, because you want your quilt to be, you get to a stage, you know when to stop, because you get to a stage where you look at it and you think, now if I do one more, it's going to be a strange shape, so you know when to stop. So I'm just giving it a quick press, nothing more chatty on here. See, it's a nice scrappy quilt, and you've got all of these memories sitting in there. Do you know, half of them I can't even remember. I don't even know where they've come from. I vaguely remember some of them, but I don't remember actually using some of them. See this one here? Where's that one from? I remember these. I think these were, was it Abbey Rose? We used to have a lady come and she used to bring us fat quarters from a different make. I remember this one. This one came with a panel. So you know, a bit of spray time in there. There we go. That'll be flat enough for now. Okay, let's put that one there. And we're going to we'll do this. Right, we're going to lay it down like that. Now I've prepped a backing and a piece of wadding, and so that would actually be long enough, but we're going to go that way. Okay. So I just need to pick. Now you go through and you think, oh, I want to make sure that that's in my mat. So maybe about there. Okay, most of the, like that. So you just then use it as a sheet. So you could use this for your crumb quilting. You could sew your jelly rolls together for to make your hearts. You know, when you do your do like an applique heart on there, you can do that. So we're now going to just quilt it. Okay. Sorry, Al. So you can either then put a binding strip around it, for which you have all of those nice little strips. You can put binding around it, or you could bag it out. I've chosen to do it like this. Okay, so back over here, I'm going to change this foot to that one. And we're just going to stick a bit of quilting on it, all right, and quilt it together. Let's put my stitch up. Because we're just doing this quick. Now you could use your walking foot. It's probably a good idea to use a walking foot. So that's the end of my wadding there. This is how I do my quick quilting, is crazy quilting. Now, at home, you would probably iron that better, right? And take your time over it. Which way are we going to go? Go down there. Straight across the middle. I think that should be right then. Remember, you want to quilt. You should quilt when you quilt something with your hands width. I'm not sure whether it's that or that. Okay. So I've put a bit of quilting in there. All right. So all I've done is just gone from one side to the other, turned it, gone it. You're just quilting it, then we're going to chop it down. Oh, I've got a bit of a bit going on there. Okay, what did I do with that? And then you're just going to put a binding on it. So there's not really anything else that I can tell you. Were there any questions there about jelly roll quilting, or questions in general?
Not really.
No.
People are. Pauline said I'm going to Ingleton, Yorkshire, Dales National Park, over there.
Oh, lovely. I'd like to go and see York. That would be something I'd like to do. I saw York when I was about 8, I think. We stopped there on the way up to Edinburgh, I think, way back then. And I think, yeah, I wouldn't mind going to see York again. I remember it being like very Harry Potter-esque. Right, so there you have a jelly roll mat, table mat, ideal for outside. So you would just take your other strips, and for binding, fold it in half, put it against there, start by there, go all the way round. So we've done ones on binding. I could show you a mitered corner, and then we will call it quits. Right, so we have our binding, which we are now going to iron. So your binding, you iron in half, Any other questions? Statements? Line this in half quickly.
Karen says jelly roll's lovely to do. Quote as you go. Jill says York is great. One of my girls lives there.
Yeah, I remember it being, and you had, I think you had to change money for old money, go into old pennies and things, so that you could use it in the shops there. That's how I remember it. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. It's amazing how your thoughts of things that you did as a child, how they change. So I've put the 1/4 inch foot on. Never start right at the beginning. Give yourself enough room to be fiddling with it when you get round to the other end. So you're going to sew a 1/4 inch until you get to 1/4 inch before the end, which is about there. Okay, about there. And then you're going to twist it at a 45-degree angle and come off. Okay, so you now have, oh, I've left it as a big stitch, but never mind, you can see the stitching then. You come along here and you go off at the corner. So when you want to fold this now, you fold it away from you. You want a 45-degree angle here, and this is going to run in the same line as the one that you're going to use, the side that you're going to use. And then you're going to pull this down, keeping your 45-degree angle, going in there. All right, so you've got, that is your mitre there. So if I sew down there, you start at the corner, just in from the corner, do a lock stitch. Okay, coming back over here now, Al. Okay, so I've sewn from there down, and now I would then iron that out like this. And you can see that when you turn this over, all right, so you've turned it over, so you've got a nice corner there, but when you turn it over from this angle, you can then create a corner at the other side as well. Okay, like that. Might need a bit of fiddling. Does it go that way better? For some reason my corner is not, there, there's better, there's better, see? Right, so you would get your nice corner on the other side. Now you can, if you're doing mats, then sew in the ditch on the other side, which will catch this, but we tend to, I'd stick a couple of hand stitches all the way around. All right, so you have that bound edge now on your mat. So there's quick, simple, easy mats. It's perfect sewing for weather like this, although because sometimes you just want to sew something but you don't want to have to think about it. Sewing something like this is just ideal, and you can sit there when you're having your meal and look at all the bits that you think, oh, I remember when I made that quilt. So that's it. Any questions?
A lot of saying like love York and things like that.
Cool.
York is great.
Maybe I'll put that on my list of places to go.
Here's the lovely
Might have a
demo.
word with Marie. Perhaps Marie and I'll go there and have a. This is the friend that's coming this weekend. We could go and have a look at York. We went to London. The one year we had a weekend in London, just the two of us, because we've been friends since we were 16. Yeah, about 15. It's a long time ago. Anyway, right, I'm wittering. I will see you. I would imagine we're going to do one Monday, one Tuesday next week, and then all our 1 o'clocks will come from festival. So we'll all the ones of you that can't go, we shall show you some of the quilts that have arrived. And they put all the big displays. I don't know if you've been. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. I usually spend more money than I make, really. So I will see you next week. We'll be in the two of us Monday and Tuesday. Sean will let you know tomorrow what we've decided we're going to do. And I'll see you then. Have a wonderful weekend, even if it's raining. And if it's raining, you'll be able to do some sewing. You'll have a good excuse, won't you? I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.